Hello, John here again. I thought I would give you an update on the my collection, especially my book collection, because I'm using my book collection to develop these tutorials for teaching 6502, as well as I'm going to I'll be teaching basic as well, because I've been asked if I can do some basic videos. So I just thought I'd let you know the books that I've managed to get hold of. Now, I did show you some books right on my very first video. I think there was about 9 of them. Well, I'm now well above 9. I have quite an arsenal now. So the first one is the Commodore 64 Subroutine Cookbook by David Bush. Now, this is a book just dedicated with subroutines, just subroutines to do certain things like working out mortgage payments and working out how to write to a disk drive or tape, using data files, doing loops, even there you go, game routines. So looking at that, all right, and so this is going to be one of those books that I'll be using to do the basic videos with, because I'm going to do a series of basic Commodore 64 basic as well. So there's one. I've also got Easy Programming for the 64, and this basically takes you through how to develop a program in small easy steps by just making it into bite-sized chunks, and how to debug and stuff like that, and how to create graphics and all that. So I'll be using this to base my beginner's guide to basic when I do those videos. I've also got how to program your Commodore 64 in 6510 language, and I've been using this book to generate all the thing, as you probably, that flowchart there you probably recognise from the multiplication system that I demoed, and it's got all sorts of little tricks and treats, and I'm going to be using this. Oh well, I'm not going to be using it. I have been using it to do the examples that I've been doing when I've been trying to explain the commands. And so there's other things in there, like that one there, a random number generator, which I'll be using when we come to do the maze project that I've wanted to do, because I wrote a maze program a long time ago, and the randomization routine is not the best, but you know, there's one in here, so I might as well use it. And so that is being used for the 6502 programming. This is a useful one. Peeks and pokes. How to from the Commodore 64 and the C128, all the peeks and pokes numbers that you need to make an effective game and what that means and stuff like that. This is all done in BASIC. So these are going to be subjects of videos, and as you can see, that's book number 4. I've got loads of them. This book was bought specifically so I could explain sprites and sound, and as you can see, it's a well thumbed book. Someone has used it quite a lot. I mean, I've noticed, look, pencil marks where they've put in little notes and stuff like that, which is great because I've been reading those notes and trying to understand what they've been saying. But that's going to be the basis of the sprites and sound video. Bought this, which has got 60 programs in, all sorts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type these programs in and then give them away for free and put them on the YouTube channel. And what we'll do is, with every program, I'll do a code walkthrough of those programs, and then we can do it. But that'll be part of the basic, because these are all basic in here. Then we've got advanced techniques. And I haven't quite read this yet. I got so many books I haven't read, but it's probably more about the more high level coding, like sorting, error trapping and stuff like that. But I ain't read it yet, but just to show you, that's another book. And then in the same series, I've got Artificial Intelligence on the C64. So this will, as you can see, it used to be a library book, and I've bought this off eBay. But what this one does, allows you to build intelligence into your program. So the most useful thing for this is in games. So you make your baddies a bit more intelligent. So that'll be used for doing that. Then we've got maths for the 64, and it will do. This is all about every type of different number calculation, sequence, and everything else to do. You know, matrix algebra. Wow, matrix multiplication, transformation. These are the sort of things that you would do in a spreadsheet, not in Commodore Basic. But I'm going to use it, and there'll be videos about the programs I've written. Then we get to the more well-known books. So Commodore 64 computing. So this is just an overview of you know, all the different things that you can do in the Commodore 64, but at a very high level, at the beginner's level. And this will also be another book that I'll be using for all those different videos, specifically for the different topics I'm going to be doing. Well, you've seen that one, and this is one I've been using to explain all the machine instructions. I've been using this book to explain all the language instructions and stuff like that. And there's some nice diagrams in here, which I will put in different videos as well when we get to those different sections. Like there's a list of all routines in BASIC and stuff like that. I'll be that. Then working with the 64. So same again. It's just loads of well thumbed. Oh, there's 5 pages missing there. I didn't realise that. It's got high-res graphics in and stuff like that. So all this is going to be used when I'm doing all the videos to make sure that I'm actually talking sense rather than nonsense. And then here we go. These are the books that I was interested in. 21 games. Going to type them in. They're all in BASIC. I'm going to type them in. Some of them are big and some of them are small. And then we're going to pick 1 or 2 and convert it into machine code. So we're going to take a basic program and then convert it into machine language, and it should be exactly the same but run a lot quicker. So these are other videos that we're going to get. So I've got quite a lot of videos going to do. The Bible, of course, which you've seen before. Anatomy of the 64, and this is the 64 being disassembled. So this is all the kernel and the basic ROMs being disassembled. Another sound and graphics book that I'm going to be using, because they've all got routines in, they just need to be typed in. Yeah. And then another games book, so we'll have different games in this, and I'll do the same thing again. We'll type them in. See, it even goes you through how to create your sprites and stuff like that, which is what I'm going to be doing as well. Alright, look, Lunar Lander, and that's so close to Jupiter Lander. Might be the first one we do. Then we've got the machine language book for the Commodore 64. So this is basically everything, all about the 6502 and what you can do with it, which I've been using on some of my examples. Then, because I was asked about can I do basic videos, so I bought this one, which is a port of the very successful 30-hour basic for the BBC Micro, but this one has been done for the Commodore 64, so it's exactly the same as the BBC Micro one, but all these routines are for the Commodore 64. And when I do my BBC videos, this is one of the books that I've got up there, so I've got quite a lot. And then how to talk to the 1541. So these are all the machine code routines in the disk drive that comes with the 64, and you can interact with the machine language on here, and that'll be a topic of the advanced machine machine language programming. Then I managed to get hold of one of these, which is a graphics book for the Commodore 64, all in machine language, and I wanted to be able to make sure that when I talk to you about graphics and stuff like that in the 6502 language, that I was talking, well, not talking sense rather than nonsense. And then the programming the Commodore 64, which is almost the Bible, almost, but it's all in BASIC with a little bit of 6502 in there. So just to show you, if you remember my first video, I had a load of books that I laid out on the floor, so I'll do it again now. This is the 64 book collection that I've got now, and as you can see, because I want to make sure that the videos I do are accurate, I've invested quite a bit of money in getting the right books for the right job. And there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And I've still got a couple more coming because Mark's just sold me a Commodore 64 programming book that says impossible. It's called Impossible Routines. So that's going to be intriguing, just to find out what these impossible routines are. So just to let you know, this is just to show you that these videos that I'm creating are based on research, and because I've bought many books, I'm not, getting points of view from different authors, and I just wanted to just give you an update that I am not, even though I'm a long time programmer, that I am not just talking from personal experience as well. I'm actually talking from other people's experience as well. I mean, I've been asked about my programs that I showed on the first video and to do code walkthroughs, and I'll be doing that as well. I'm just converting them into the new development environment rather than my environment when I used my personal assembler, and I will be converting my the assembler that I wrote to write all my programs into the new environment, so I can give it away like I did with TDSOS and see what people think about how to program in assembly actually on the machine and not using the emulator or the new development environment. So I'm hoping that this has been an interesting video for you, because as you can see, the book collection, it will get bigger, but it won't get as big as quick as now. And as you can, and the games ones and all that, I will be using quite a lot, because we're going to be doing a lot of code walkthroughs. So games is always a good thing, because it interests people in rather than doing utilities. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you the next time. Take care. Bye.